understanding 10 differences in mindset between the strong and the weak to change your destiny and achieve success. Dear beloved listeners of InnerLight, at a press conference, Mr. Kazuo Anamori, the legendary Japanese business icon, was once asked, "What are the keys to success?" Without hesitation, he answered, "It's how you think. It's your mindset." Our mindset doesn't just shape how we solve problems, it determines how far we go in life. The way we think and perceive the world forms the very foundation of personal growth and achievement. If someone struggles with how they think, if their perspective is narrow or limited, then no matter how talented they are, they'll find it extremely difficult to adapt, to overcome challenges, or to thrive in a changing environment. That's where mental illness begins, when thinking becomes rigid and resilience fades. On the other hand, by learning to think and act like a mentally strong person, everything changes. You'll become more effective, more adaptable, more creative. Even under pressure, you respond instead of react. You rise instead of retreat. In this video, InnerLight brings you 10 fundamental differences between mentally strong people and mentally weak people. By understanding these differences, you can reset how you think, upgrade your mindset, grow as a person, and move closer to a life of success and happiness. Let's start. Difference number 1. Weak-minded people focus on what benefits them. Strong-minded people focus on what benefits others. There's an old saying, true benefit is meant to be shared, not hoarded. In life, there will always be people who act selfishly. When they see an opportunity, they rush to claim it all for themselves. But what they don't realize is, each person has an inner scale. They'll see and know all those selfish acts. Chasing personal gain, it damages your friendships and eventually destroys your business relationships. On the flip side, truly wise people understand the power of sharing. They know how to create value, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. Let's take the story of billionaire Wang Yongqin, best known as the king of plastic manufacturing. At one point, he was the second richest man in Taiwan, with a net worth of $5.5 billion. There was a year when crude oil prices, which are essential for plastic making, suddenly spiked. Many plastic companies immediately raised their prices to protect their profits, but one made a bold choice. He didn't raise prices. In fact, he accepted a hit to his profits just to keep prices stable for his customers. A lot of people thought he was foolish, but here's what he said. "I leave the profit for my customers so they can grow their businesses. And when they grow, their demand increases. So don't I win even more in the long run?" That mindset, giving is receiving, is exactly what makes his company the leader in the industry. Japanese entrepreneur Kazuo Inamori, in his book, A Compass to Fulfillment, he wrote, "Doing something that only benefits you will help you survive. But doing something that benefits others, that's what helps you thrive long term." When you collaborate and you're the one willing to give up some of the gains, it might seem like you're losing out. But in reverse, when others benefit, they naturally want to give back. Learning to be generous and think beyond yourself is actually the highest form of self-interest. Difference number 2. Weak people step on each other. Strong people lift each other up. There was once a scholar who introduced the concept of collapse at the bottom level of society. What he meant was people who are struggling at the bottom are more likely to turn on each other. They fight, they hurt one another, they sabotage their own group. Instead of rising together, they bring each other down, and the whole group suffers as a result. I once saw a painting that captured this idea perfectly. A group of people trapped in a cage. Instead of working together to get out, they fought, they trampled each other. No one made it out. Everyone stayed stuck. There's even a scientific experiment that illustrates this same truth. If you put one crab in a basket, you have to cover the basket or it will climb out. But if you put several crabs in the basket, you don't need a lid. Why? Because the moment one crab tries to climb out, the others pull it back down. No crab ever escapes. This is known as the crab mentality. In real life, some people behave just like that. They can't stand to see others doing better than them. They criticize. They mock. They try to drag others down. But what they don't realize is every bit of negativity they send out eventually circles back to them. It's the law of karma. Here's the truth. Success doesn't come from fighting each other. It comes from lifting each other up. Ancient wisdom says, to succeed, one person needs the help of 3 others. A strong fence needs 3 stakes to stand. Our ancestors understood the power of unity and mutual support. No one climbs every mountain alone. No one crosses every river solo. It's only when we stand beside each other, support each other, and grow together that we can move forward with strength and stability. During the Qing dynasty, the scholar Zhang Xiao wrote in his book Dream Shadows, the clouds reflect the sun to paint the sky at dusk. Water runs through cliffs to form a waterfall. Sun, clouds, water, rocks, they're all different. Yet, together, they create nature's most beautiful scenes. And that's the point. When different elements work together, they create something greater. That's what mentally strong people do. They don't compete. They collaborate. They lift each other up. They walk forward together. And they reach success together. Difference number 3. Weak people take revenge. Strong people forgive. Once, the great philosopher Aristotle was asked, "Professor, why do people who hold on to haters always look so miserable?" Aristotle answered, "Because what hurts them isn't just what others did to them, it's the hatred they carry inside." In life, many people are unhappy, not because life is too hard, but because they hold on to too much resentment. To them, the pain others cause can only be repaid with revenge. If someone insults them, they feel the need to insult back. If someone steps on them, even by accident, and they don't get the chance to retaliate, it eats away at them inside. But what they don't realize is, holding on to resentment is like picking at an old wound over and over. It never gets the chance to heal. An Irish writer, Oscar Wilde, once said, "I have to forgive some people, not for their sake, but for mine." And the old saying goes, most of life won't go the way we want it to. So why waste energy getting worked up over every little thing? When you pour your energy into petty battles, you miss out on the beauty right in front of you. Life is a circle. Revenge always brings consequences, but when you become stronger, when you rise above the pain, The people who once hurt you naturally fade away. Only by letting go of the past can you open your heart to a brighter, more joyful future. Difference number 4. Weak people need the crowd. Strong people walk alone. There's a powerful saying, wild beasts walk alone. Only cattle and sheep move in herds. In life, there are many people who act like cattle, clinging to groups for a false sense of security. They think blending into a crowd will protect them. But the truth is, chasing constant social interaction often drains your energy, wastes your time, and slowly turns you into just another face in the ground. Take Dr. Susan David, the South African psychologist. When she first arrived in the States for her studies, she was terrified of seeming outdated or uncool. So she pushed herself to go to lounge parties, drink strong liquor, and even watch movies she had no interest in, all to fit in. The result, her grades dropped fast, and she felt completely out of touch with herself. One day, she chose to skip the parties and spend time alone in the library. She read, she studied, and surprisingly, for the first time in a long time, she felt at peace. Her restless mind calmed down, and she felt deeply fulfilled. For that moment on, Susan gave up meaningless socializing and focused solely on her goals. Today, she's not only a world-renowned psychologist, but also a medical expert at Harvard and global thought leader. Here's the truth. Ordinary people drown their emptiness in noise. Extraordinary people build greatness in silence. Like the saying goes, low-quality socializing isn't worth more than high-quality solitude. Spending time alone isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It gives you clarity. It helps you see who you really are and what you truly want. It teaches you independence, discernment, and the ability to build relationships that are meaningful and real. The more exceptional a person becomes, the more they learn to simplify their social circles, removing the noise and embracing peace. Instead of forcing yourself to fit in, force yourself to grow. Learn to stand strong on your own. Because when you embrace solitude and use that time to sharpen your character, that's when you truly evolve and rise. Let's move on. Difference number 5. Weak minds react with anger and resentment. Strong minds respond with calm and compassion. The intellects of Confucius says, a capable person who doesn't get angry is truly excellent. A capable person who often gets angry is just average. But someone who lacks both ability and self-control, that's a lower tier person. Those who are truly strong know how to manage their emotions. Meanwhile, the weak, those lacking inner strength, often get upset over the smallest things. Here's a story from a new account of a tale of the world written during China's northern and southern dynasties. There was a man named Wang Shu who held the noble title of Marquis of Landian, but he was known for his fiery temper. One day, while trying to pick up a boiled egg with his chopsticks and failing repeatedly, he lost it. He threw the egg to the floor in frustration. Still enraged, he tried to stomp on it, missed. So he picked up the egg and bit into it just to relieve his anger. All of that over a single egg. But let's be honest, we've all seen people like that. People who blow up over tiny inconveniences. People who use anger to mask their impatience, insecurity, or fear. But here's the truth. Anger only makes bad situations worse. Smart people use their brains, not their temper. Weak people, they lash out, but never reflect. In the famous novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the great general Cao Cao, who graduated at just 20 and earned a reputation of purity and integrity, he said, "Don't get angry. Anger weakens your mind. Don't hold hatred. Hatred clouds your judgment. Only when you learn to master your emotions can you begin to master your life." Napoleon Bonaparte, a French military general and statesman who played a key role in the French Revolution, once remarked, "A man who can command his emotions is mightier than one who can conquer a city." The truly strong are generous, open-minded, open-hearted, and too focused on what matters to waste time on a petty drama. There's another story from the late Qing dynasty. Zhang Guofan, a respected high-rank official, was once traveling on a narrow road on a sit-on chair carried by 8 footmen. Coming from the opposite direction, another lower official was traveling on a much larger sedan chair carried by 8 men. The lower rank official tries to fight for the right of the road, forcing Zhang's groups aside, not knowing that he is fighting against his upper rank. Right at the time the lower rank officer realized that it was Zhang Guofan, he panicked and got out of his chair, down on his knees to apologize, bowing deeply. Zhang simply smiled, helped him up, and said, "It was me in your way. No harm done, no blame at all." There's an old saying, "He who can tolerate the small-minded is a true gentleman." The size of your heart and mind determines the size of your life. The bigger your thinking, the broader your path in life becomes. Strong people don't waste time arguing or complaining. They choose their time to grow and evolve. They don't let emotions control them. They don't allow anger to take the wheel, because they know losing control of your emotions means losing control of yourself. The next time you face conflict, remember this: anger and blame will only make things worse. But with kindness, self-restraint, and compassion, you'll find peace. And in peace, you'll discover wisdom. And in wisdom, you'll create miracles. Now, let's talk about different number 6. Weak people show strength, but strong people show vulnerability. Have you ever seen someone like this around you? Someone who clearly did something wrong, but refuses to admit it. They trying to act like they understand something when they clearly don't. Always striving to be the best at everything they do, and never wanting to fall short compared to others. When they face something that's beyond their capabilities, they still push to appear strong and fight back. The weaker someone is, the more they feel the need to prove themselves, which only leads to more rejection and walls they crash into everywhere. They may look strong, but they're extremely fragile. The truth is, showing off your strength often comes from overwhelming desire to be acknowledged. But ask yourself, are you truly skilled? Is your life really going well? Deep down, they all have this inner balance that knows the answer. There's a saying that goes, a beautiful tree in the forest gets knocked down by the wind, and the taller tree gets chopped by the axe. Truly strong people never rush to show off. They know what flaunting power and being reckless with it will only lead to trouble. Instead of fighting for shallow fame and wasting energy, it's better to step back, show your vulnerability when needed, and protect yourself. The book of Eastern philosophy, The Great Thinkers, once said, "The eagle stands tall with eyes half closed as if it's sleeping, while the fierce tiger walks with a slow, sickly stride, but in truth they are both preparing to strike with their most clever techniques." A person with virtue doesn't flaunt their intelligence. They don't need to show off their talent. They understand that true strength is about being ready to shoulder responsibility when the time comes. Someone who dares to show weakness is not weak, incompetence. They are wise enough to retreat when needed, using softness to conquer strength and using gentleness to overcome toughness. There's a saying, showing strength is a disguise of the weak, while showing weakness is the wisdom of the strong. Only by learning to humble yourself, holding back on your sharpness, can you avoid unnecessary struggles and wait for the right moment to act. Difference number 7. Weak people complain, strong people take action. Let me share with you a powerful story from ancient China. Shan Wantan, known as the richest man south of the Yangtze River during the Ming Dynasty. He didn't start with wealth or privilege. In fact, his early business ventures were filled with failure. Back then, Shan was trying to build a business selling tea in the southeast regions of China, but he kept running into problems. He didn't have enough capital. His supply chains would fall apart, and sometimes he even got robbed. Repeatedly, he watched other people succeed while he walked away with nothing. Frustrated and bitter, he started blaming his poor background, blaming others, blaming life itself. Eventually, all that negativity broke him down. He became seriously ill, but then something happened. After recovering, he noticed something small but interesting. People were buying up bamboo baskets to transport tea. Right then, a light bulb went off in his mind. He stopped selling tea. He rushed to buy up every single bamboo basket he could find in the surrounding areas. Later then, the traders had plenty of tea, but no basket to carry it. Guess who they had to buy from? Shan Wantan. He sold those baskets at a premium and made their fortune without ever touching the tea tray again. The lesson: life won't always go according to plan. In fact, it rarely does. If you spend all your energy complaining, you sink deeper into frustration and negativity, and nothing changes. There's an old saying, a noble person blames themselves and improves. A small-minded person blames others and stays the same. Mentally strong people don't waste time pointing fingers. They adapt. They adjust. They look inward, take ownership, and find new strategies. Even when things fall apart, they find a way to rise. If you want to change your destiny, don't complain. Change your perspective, change your approach, and success will follow you. Difference number 8. Mentally weak people avoid problems. Mentally strong people face and solve them. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen someone, maybe a friend, a colleague, or even yourself, completely avoid a tough problem instead of dealing with it head on. And on the flip side, have you ever seen someone who rolled up in their sleeves and gave it everything they had to solve that same kind of problem? See, when someone builds the habit of avoiding challenges, they start developing fear. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, fear of uncertainty. And later on, even when they do have the ability to solve things, their fear still holds them back. It leaves them vulnerable, easily defeated by life's obstacles. Let's be real. Every one of us feels overwhelmed at some point. When life throws problems our way, our first instinct is often dodge them, to go around instead of going through. But here's the truth. Life will always throw problems at you. Always. One after another. And sooner or later, you run out of places to hide. Weak-minded people keep running. Eventually, they break down. They burn out. And they end up achieving nothing. Mentally strong people, they know that if they keep avoiding, they'll lose the war before it even begins. So instead, they grit their teeth and fight. They take all life's battles with everything they've got, even when it hurts, even when it's hard. Winston Churchill once said, "There are only two secrets to succeed. First, never give up. And second, if you ever feel like giving up, go back and read the first secret again. When you feel like quitting, wake yourself up. Remind yourself what you are made of. Dig deep, push forward, because just like the compass spring, the more pressure you face, the stronger your bounce back will be. Face the problem, stand your ground. That's the only way to grow, to rise, and to become the person you were meant to be." Difference number 9. Weak people depend on others. Strong people rely on themselves. There's an old saying, relying on a person, they may run away. Relying on a mountain, it may crumble away. Relying on yourself is the best. The truth is, in this life, the only person you can truly count on is you. The moment you stop depending on others and start standing on your own, you'll find the strength to face anything, no matter how dangerous or difficult life gets. Your own resilience becomes the solid foundation that keeps you grounded. Here's the true story of actress Queen Yi, a beauty of China's cinema. But before she ever became the legendary actress, she had just one simple dream: to find a trustworthy husband, stay home, and raise a family. That's all she wanted. But life had other plans. She went through 2 marriages. Both were filled with pain, domestic abuse, addiction, and heartbreak. The very people she trusted most were the ones who brought her to her lowest point. She was torn apart, emotionally shattered, and that's when it hit her. The only person she could ever truly depend on was herself. From that moment forward, she stopped relying on anyone. She threw herself into her craft, sharpened her acting career, and at the same time raised her son, who has autism. No matter what role she played, she gave it her own. And with unshakable effort, passion, and greed, she rose. Her performances were so powerful that she was eventually honored with the title of People's Artist, one of the highest recognition in this field. A famous writer once said, "Don't rely on anyone, not in work, not in love, not in anything. But if you do, you're setting yourself up for disappointment." When weak people hit rock bottom, they wait around hoping for someone to save them. But here's the hard truth. Even your own shadow leaves you in the dark. The moment you place your destiny in someone else's hands, you've already fallen into a trap, and some never escape it. It reminds me of something Socrates once said. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because its trust isn't in the branch, but in its own wings. That's how mentally strong people live. They don't fear the storm because they've trained their wings to fly through it. When life throws them off the edge, they don't fall, they soar. People who rely on themselves can push through obstacles. They figure things out. Meanwhile, those who always depend on others get stuck the moment that support disappears. Eventually, life teaches all of us this lesson. The path you're walking is yours alone. No one can walk it for you, not forever. So don't wait, don't wish, don't lean on others to carry you. Stand up, rely on yourself, do what you can by yourself. That's how you become a mighty tree, unshaken by the wind, rooted through any storm. And last, but definitely not least, difference number 10. Weak people give in. Strong people stay disciplined. Have you ever found yourself in situations like this? You go to bed telling yourself, "Tomorrow I'm waking up early to work out." But when morning comes, the alarm keeps ringing and you just can't get out of bed. You promise to spend the weekend at home reading, but the moment a friend texts you to go shopping or catch a movie, you're out the door in the flash. You plan your work week on Monday, feeling motivated and ready, but somehow you keep pushing things off till Friday. We fall into these short-term comforts so easily, only to find ourselves drowning in long-term regrets. But mentally strong people are different. They chase a higher level of happiness, one that comes not from giving in to impulse, but from staying disciplined. When we endure discomfort and stress with self-control, our bodies release natural painkiller like endorphins, making us stronger in the process. I will wake up early and run every morning. I will read quietly at home on the weekend. I will stick with my weekly work schedule and finish everything on time. Yes, it's painful at first. Self-discipline hurts, but in the end, it delivers the joy of achievement. There's a saying, every gift that fate offers comes with a hidden price. And it's true. All the ease and comfort that come from indulgence, eventually they lead to a much greater cost, pain, regret, and lost potential. Only by practicing self-discipline, holding back from instant gratification, and pushing through the hard stuff can we earn the rewards that truly matters. Many people start from the same place, but what separates them? What creates that gap in skill, success, and growth is mindset. So remember the 10 key differences between mentally strong and mentally weak people. Let them guide you. Expand your thinking. Transform your habits. Shift your mindset. From now on, embrace self-discipline. Don't fear struggle. Build a resilient heart. Keep showing up. Keep practicing. Keep moving forward, even slowly. And one day, you'll look back and realize you've left the old version of yourself behind. You've become stronger, better, and more powerful than ever. That wraps up today's message. Thank you, truly, for spending your valuable time with us. I hope it brings you clarity, inspiration, and strength. Wishing you and your loved ones happiness, success, and peace always. Take good care and see you in our next videos.